Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I've been pretty much away for most of the day, or seemingly I've been busy today, assembling certain stuff. I finished up that side project that I might have mentioned in the post. Did I mention it in the post, or did I not? Well, yeah, basically, I recorded some separate videos on a separate track from the series I'm doing now called the Evidence of Prophecy. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's actually really paying attention to me, because it's possible that everyone could have just written me off as this guy is just a kook already. But I know some of you maybe think possibly maybe this guy can perceive more than most if you really pay attention to a lot of the stuff that I've been posting and sharing. Not just from now, but there's been periods where I've gone essentially quiet, so to speak. I've left Facebook. I've still been online, but I wouldn't post on Facebook unless I felt something within me, it needs to meet a certain criteria. Sometimes I'll start posting just to recommunicate with my friends and stuff like that. And hopefully this one's going to be a quick one. Only 1 minute and 28 seconds. There's that labyrinth up there. Yeah, I had this labyrinth as a kid. I bought it. Or someone bought it for me as a gift. And well, I created that separate sidetrack, and as it stands, it's technically it's 3 parts, because I tried to record it as one, but then would you believe it? This is a hat my mom got me. You want to know something interesting? I have one of these hats, and I have another one too, but it's slightly different. So does it really matter? You know what I mean? But I have all sorts of hats. These are just some of them. Some of the ones outside. Of course, there's a beanie. Although I had another hat too that was from Zelda that had the wings. But I think I might have lost that one the day I bought it, because I bought 2 beanies from that convention. But this is the one that I wound up with. This is from that anime Full Metal Alchemist, and I'll explain the symbolism that the serpent eating itself. That's without a doubt in Ouroboros. Plus, you have the wings, and then you have that pentagram or pentacle inside. That's the seal of, the Star of David, supposedly. The seal of on the flag of Israel, but also a certain family. It's their family seal as well. So maybe what someone said, maybe it shouldn't really be the official symbol of their country. Well, who cares? Symbols are symbols. It's whatever you believe, whatever power you ascribe to it. It doesn't matter what they believe. They can believe whatever they want. What you believe is what you believe, and what you believe is the most powerful of all. So this is something one of my friends gave me. Yes, it is silver. Just a little bit of silver. I don't have that much. It says harmony prevails. And there's images of these 2 unicorns and this serpentine dragon in the center. Wow, or something like a multi-beasted thing. And on the back, it's there's that eagle again, like a phoenix or an eagle. It says, friendship is magic. Kingdom of Equestria, or something like that. Or something. It's a fictional coin, but it's made out of silver. I've seen another one, one of those Franklin ones with the cannabis leaf on it. I want to always get one of those. And this one my friend gave me as collateral. And if I see him again, if he ever wants it back, it's his. You know what I mean? Because it's a souvenir. I'm holding it for him because, basically, I've helped this person out so many times. He's not even in Hawaii anymore, but I helped him out so many times. Basically, he owes me, I don't even look at it in that perspective. He's just a friend, and I'm just my grandfather to a certain extent. My grandma used to get really pissed at him because, we're just nice people, and I guess I inherited that trait from him. I inherited some things from my father, I inherited some things from my grandfather, even my dad was a decent guy too. My uncle was telling me a little bit about my dad and everything, and like everything's good with me and my uncle. But like earlier today, like part of the story, like that I told today, basically, and I recorded it. However, this I'm saving it. Like I'm not going to release it right away because as I'm starting to find out today, I was only able to upload one video. Oh wow, look, already 5 minutes. I'm so long-winded, aren't I? Like, should I just get to the bottom of it? Yeah, like all this other stuff. Like, you want to take a little sneak peek? Like today, like I kept on assembling things. Oh, look what I found. This is actually my grandfather's, but like he said I could hold on to it. Like, look at this. What is that? Yeah, I'll turn it on. Hey, you see? Basically, you push record and you can put it in your pocket, or like any good journalist or researcher should have something like this. It's a voice recorder, and it takes like certain SD memory type micro mini SD cards. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? Don't worry. This is something that my grandfather got, like, just the other year for, like, his meetings. But, like, he doesn't really use it anymore because, like, well, basically he tried using it and it didn't really work. I don't know if this is actual silver, but, like, I was given this as a gift from one of my friends. And I guess he got it, like, also, like, all donations used to place veterans in jobs. That's a good thing. Oh, was it made in China? You see? Like, everything comes full circle. Who gives if it's made in China? And, like, I'm not sure if it's real silver, but it's a collectible Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. What? It's a video game, yeah. Interesting video games, how... Like, it's no secret. Like, if you do enough research, like, should I really tell them? Like, I hope if I don't... Like, if I open my mouth, are they going to, like, yank all the video games? Like, oh, no more video games anymore for anyone. Never, never, never. Like, it's like, blah, blah, blah. No, they'll never do that. Because, like, it's all good. Because essentially, it works in several ways. Because man will always be man. If we can find some way to essentially find some way to live out that bloodlust without actually having to, like, kill and maim and stuff like that, yet still trick that instinctual part of our brains. Because, yes, I'll be honest, it's something instinctual within man that's been with us for a long time. Maybe in the future we might finally outgrow it if we can live, like, enough successive generations free of, like, the certain, like, things that cause that natural instinct to be there in the first place, that survival instinct. And it goes back to that one of those songs from a animated Resident Evil. Depends on where you're from. Like, if you're in America, it's called Resident Evil, but basically in Japan it was originally released as Biohazard. Basically it's about a zombie virus and everything, but then in the fourth game, they changed it to, like, something else called the Las Plagas. And that was, like, this mind control parasite. Like, what the heck? And, like, yeah. Like, interesting stuff. Like, that video game. It's just an interesting stuff, like, metaphorically speaking. But, like, in the fourth game, yeah, the villains are called the Los Illuminados. Or, like, it's another fancy variation of, the name Yeah, some trippy stuff. You want to see something? Like, maybe in the background, I'll play something that trips me out. Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Let's say, what are you, man? Like, what is this? Oh, look, I went to that Love Festival thing. Like, it was a rave a couple years ago, or not a couple years ago. This was back in 2010, if it's that Love Festival. You see, I keep souvenirs. Like, wow, dude. Yeah, look, I went through a lot of stuff today trying to accumulate as much, like, stuff that I would need to complete my series. And at this point, I'm looking at, hopefully I can get it done within 12 to possibly 13 episodes. Possibly 13. Like, I'm still debating about how certain things are going to happen, essentially. Or, like, how am I going to... Do I want to, like, basically share some, like... Because, like I said, like, basically, first and foremost, like, as my Facebook profile says under occupation, like, wherever you work, like, it's kind of awkward the way, like, it doesn't really work properly. Oh, yeah, look, I used to have, like, you see the orange tip, it's an airsoft pistol. That's all it is. It's just an air. This one was airsoft, not even, like, BB or pellet. It was airsoft. And, like, here, you can even see the green gas magazine. You see, that's where you put the gas in. Like, you can't put real freaking like bullets or pellets or something like this. But the ironic thing, well, the actual airsoft gun is completely broken either way. So this one doesn't work anyway. The ironic thing, this is the firearm that character Spriggan Yu Ominai carries. Also, Fox Mulder had one in X-Files. It was one of his firearms, but he also had, I think he had a Glock, possibly, or maybe a Beretta also as a backup, but he did have a Sig Sauer P226, and it appears in the Craig films too. Like, I think he uses one in Quantum. Might appear briefly in some form in Casino Royale as well. Oh, and speaking of which, let's see. It's 11:01 p.m. Like, oh, you see, like I told you, this thing is broken. It doesn't even, like, really fit anymore. Like, oh my, ouch! Ooh, that was sore. This damn thing, it pinched me. Thankfully, it didn't cut you, though, or anything like that. Ah! Ouch! But look, you can still endure after that. Ooh, that thing looks painful. Ooh, yeah, it feels painful. Ah! Youch. Like I said, life in real time. We're not perfect. You see, what is this? It's a replica of a firearm. Maybe that implies you shouldn't be playing with something like that. You might hurt yourself. Aha. You see, sometimes you need to see a graphic symbolism of, like, what these things are capable of. Like, because even in its form like this, like, if you've seen certain movies, this is freaking dangerous. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't even want to touch this stuff. I had an instrument as a child. Like, well, not a child. Like, when I was a teenager, like, ooh, look at this. I have these SD memory cards from my old cameras. Like, or actually, things that were kind of like hand-me-downs from my grandmother. Or she would rarely use them, but I keep them in good hands and stuff like that. And, like, don't worry. They always, like, they're aware of where everything is. And, like, let's see. I have my CD player. This one my grandfather gave me. Hopefully that's those pair of earphones I found in there. I'll actually have two pairs now. We'll see which one works better. If it, like, works on my computer again, because my computer, like, the other earphones don't work on it. Look, this airsoft pistol's, like, all falling apart. Like, funny, huh? And, like, even the other one, like I said, the exact same make and model. Like, it's, like, almost like, what type of weird coincidence is that? Like, let's see. Oh, wait, what is this? Fujifilm. Let's see, 2 gigabyte memory card for a photo. Like, essentially, you can use for a computer, for, like video camera, like digital camera, like all sorts of things. It's made in Taiwan, the Fujifilm one. Why do you care where it's made? Just curious. Like, I want to show you how this world, like, everything comes from everywhere, like, all different places. Let's see, this one is SD Dane Elect. See, a different, like, I haven't, just not really a, like, famous company that I know of or anything like that. Maybe it is. Like, you never know. Well, it's a meat size, but it's made in China. And then this one, Lexar multi-use 16 gigabyte SD8C high capacity. I would bet that's what the 8C probably stands for. See, look, I can figure it out like that, even though I don't know for sure. That's what I would assume. Made in Korea. Korea. I can say it in however, like, I feel most natural. Korea. It's a toy. Fell apart. See, like, I don't own real firearms or stuff like that. I used to play with, like, like those airsoft guns and stuff like that. Like, oh, look, I have another dream catcher, even though I have one up there. But, like, maybe I can give this to someone or, like, gift it away or something at some point, maybe, or I might need it at some point. Well, what is this? Is this something, yeah, like when I talk about dreams. Like, you may ask, what does it mean to be, like, I want to be a psychic, I want to remote view, I want to do what you can do. Like, what is this? Like, like I said at one point, like, do you really want to be in my shoes? It's like, well, I showed you a little sample of something, like, real and graphic, like, maybe, like, 3, 4, 5 days ago. Like, I posted something to my Facebook after the election completed. And like I said, I didn't vote, so I cannot complain on who's president, you know what I mean? Even though I kind of slightly implied, but now looking back, maybe it was like something totally subconscious. Like, what do you mean? Might as well be open and honest about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm an American citizen. but I want to see peace and stability on this earth. I do not want to see, like, the two, like, or, the world's greatest powers, like, essentially come to the brink of total destruction, destroying each other. You know what I mean? Because let's just say I've perceived things, or I've researched, or I've even, like, done my own strategizing if I were in certain people's positions and stuff like that, and, like, come up with, like, like, what would be the most successful, or, like, the most, like, the idea is not to, like, conquer or destroy. The idea is to achieve complete and total balance. Like, essentially, like, not a checkmate, but, or, like, not even, like, a stalemate, but a draw. A draw of sorts. Like, what? Like, but I thought, like, the bad guys gotta get his at the end, you know what I mean? Well, like, maybe, like, once you've seen certain things, like, the bad guy doesn't need to get it. I wrote on this foil plots evidence. As you can see, it's like a thick, wow, envelope full of papers. Like, I wrote back September 29th, 2011, or 9/29/11. 2 plus 9 is 11. 9/11/11. Wow. And then additions on 12/7/11. 7/11. 3 plus 7. 10. 10. 1. 1. Wow. 3. Wow. Wow. Like the numerology. I wonder if that was the correct thing to write. What do you mean? What did you write in here? What is in there? I remember some of it vaguely, but then there's other stuff that, like, I almost don't want to even remember what I wrote. That's all bad. But I wrote foil plots evidence, but it's a sealed envelope. I've sealed it. Well, I opened it at one point, and my grandpa taught me, like, he accidentally, like, he sealed an envelope without inadvertently realizing if he put something, like, in it or not, and he told me a secret, like, a trade craft, like, how to open an envelope, like, using the steam kettle, and for what do you know, it works. You can actually open an envelope covertly that way, although I've never done that, except for that one occasion when he said, oh, here, can you open this envelope for me? I was like, okay, I'll do that for you. Wow, 17 minutes. I better get this thing finished up fast, because I want to try and upload this to Facebook. Here, let me start this, and, like, maybe I'll make it a little bit softer, but this is from a video game, and, like, this kind of spooks me, but I don't know, like, let's just say, like, I'll share at some point, maybe in the closing of that series I'm making, the evidence of prophecy. Let's listen to what this is.
Where does an army without borders call home? A state without borders, of course. A world without borders.
A world without borders?
The Cold War order is about to collapse. The age of electronic intelligence is about to begin.
Well, this game set in the 1970s.
The NSA, CSS, NRO, DIA, etc., etc. The intelligence community that is long bickered amongst itself will be united in a world governed by electrons. Cypher will gather all information, watching over the world and guiding the will of its people, all while they remain blissfully unaware. There will be no one to oppose them. For the first time, the world will be ruled by a single will. Until the new order is in place, you and your army will be the force that protects it. You will be Cypher's deterrent, pulling the wool over the eyes of the old order with your charisma and military prowess. Accept our offer, and we will allow you to retain control of MSF and Zeke.
That's an offer.
The boss threw down her gun, and with it, her life's call. You, her disciple, have never been able to do that. You are too afraid to let go.
I was made to fight. I am a gun.
Is that so? Then what do you call this? Is it a gun too? You are a lousy liar. Admit it. This thing is a monstrosity, a product of your own fear. But not Cypher. Cypher thought of something different. Cypher's going to control guns.
Control guns?
That's right. Not deter, control. It is the ultimate approach to the illusion of peace.
Control power. You're gonna be disappointed.
Then we are not ready in nuclear strike mode.
What?
I'm taking the weapon you built and using it to launch a nuclear strike on the east coast of the United States.
You're insane. What are you after?
But wait, here is your consolation prize. We are about to show the world just how dangerous a gang of outlaws, an army without borders, can be. You and your men will become pariahs, and you will be wiped off the face of the earth. Rather than heroes, you will be seen as a well-armed extremist cult prone to indiscriminate outbursts of nuclear aggression. You will give rise to a new world order, an age of the time defined by a fear of extremist cult evil. Do you like the picture I have painted? When all is said and done, peace is nothing but a fantasy. A game is a game. You either win or you lose. All you can do is fight. Stop me if you can. The peace sign is the V of victory. Say, peace.
I know that story. There's this. Well, you know what today is? It's November 17th, 2016. You know what was released on November 17th, 2006? Yeah. And I'll go over that in part 9. I'll try and do that tonight. But here, this is what I have right here. I found my other deck. I still have the Las Vegas playing cards. Both of them. What decks? Where did you get these from? I won them at as a prize at someone's. Let's say it was a social function, a party, and the thing that was interesting about that contest of sorts, or several contests. I actually won several different contests. I remember, and if they remember, I was there with my friend, and several of my friends were there. Basically, we're there to celebrate and everything. Someone, I won't reveal details or anything like that for the sake of privacy and things like that. But those who were there remember and everything. And basically, one of them, it was basically guessing games and stuff like that. Almost certain things. And even, I won't reveal anything at all. But I'm not saying it's conspiracy or anything. It's totally not intentional, but it just connects because it needs to, because it is exactly what it is. Let's just say I saw certain symbolisms evoking certain code names and everything. And, it's not just there, it's at certain other locations, too, that I somewhat spend my time thinking. There's certain, either, it's one thing leads to another. I've followed the trail of, the different computer-generated, code names for a certain program that concerns certain, things. And, I'll probably post it, I'll say, go look at my Facebook. Hopefully I'll upload this to Facebook, because I don't want to put this on, YouTube, because, it's going to take too long, and, because I already have, basically, I was only able to upload one part today, but first of all, here, Casino Royale, 2006, 10 years old, anniversary, celebration. This scene.
Hi, full house. Ace is full of sixes.
That was Le Chiffre's hand, right? Let me rewind it a little bit. Let's see, what did he have? You remember in the movie, if you've seen the movie Casino Royale, what did Le Chiffre have in the final hand? And today while I was cleaning my room, I found 2 cards from an old deck. This is the back. It's a cat or a pussy.
Hi, full house. Ace is full of sixes.
Ace is full of sixes. So if you look at the board, what are the 2 cards he had? An ace and a 6.
Monsieur Bond?
What cards do I have in my hand? And I only found 2 of these. It was on the bottom of a drawer. And remember, this is my mother's old room and stuff like that, and things like that. Some things are just no coincidence. And he has an ace of spades right in front of him, which is one of my birth cards. And I'll show you something else.
5 and 7 of spades.
But yeah,
The straight flush.
this is what I found.
4 to the 8. The high hand.
Cat cards. An ace and a 6. On the anniversary too.
Monsieur Bond wins.
Mr. Bond wins!
Thank you very much.
Oh look, I have a 7, 5. Well, I have a 5 of spades right here.
Royale.
Like a 7. Well, I have a 7 of hearts. And if you look at the opening credits, like there is a 7 of hearts in that scene. Like, oh my god. Like, and well, you have that, right?
You know, the celebrations in order.
And my mom, like,
Almost
she was
done.
born April 12th, the day after the original novel was
Come on.
published. So I enjoy this movie. In spite of its, like, sad ending. Like, Las Vegas, like, here's another thing. Like, you know, this song I find interesting. I'll make it softer. So hopefully I can upload this to Facebook. Let's see, it's 25 minutes long. Well, it's kind of soft. You can't really hear it.
Fate turns on a dime.
Yeah, I know some people don't really care much for Nicolas Cage, and you know he's not a bad actor, but he's not someone like that. I go, you know, like, oh, I gotta watch a new Nicolas Cage movie. In fact, I watch movies based on what their plot is. Like, there's certain actors that, like, you know, I enjoy their films, like, regardless of their politics or anything like that. I'm able to separate that because even let's just listen to the music. Why don't you show them what you used to do when you were in a media in high school? Some people may recognize it. Oh wow, I have one of them. The whole thing, I found it. The color one. Sounds in the place. Put it back together. And it fits. Amazing. 3/4 of the other one. Just missing one portion. That was the one that put in the instrument. Better not be a freaking suitcase nuke or something. No, of course not! Are you fucking kidding me? I'm only joking. Just trying to trip you folks out. It's my old instrument. It's a saxophone. There's no suitcase nukes. That's just a myth and legend. To scare people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but sometimes, you know, just the mere possibility is enough, to keep people on their toes. That's all they want. That way they can be like, haha, let them worry about that, and then then they can, focus on what they need to essentially, But this is made in the USA. 7105967. It's kind of like a little bit dingy, but that's how it always goes. Like I've seen the old instruments at the intermediate and high school. I wonder if my old band teachers are still there. I think the band teacher when I was going to high school, he's probably not there anymore because there was somewhat of a high turnover rate with the band teachers at high school, or at least from my perception. Like here it says Empire, wow, and it says the word King and USA, but here this is the ironic. It says KR. There's some sort of letters, 3 letters or something. I can't make that out. It's somewhat worn out, but there's a city skyline right under the name Empire. I don't know if you can see it. But I'll show you as best as possible. Can you see it? Or somewhat, huh? You could see like some sort of etching. I don't know if you can make out the detail, but I can, however. Now, I got this instrument when I went to intermediate, so that would have been like 99, I think, like in 7th grade. Because I was actually supposed to play tenor sax, because that was the instrument that I tested for, or like, that the band director or band teacher, she said, like, that one would be the best instrument that you should try, and everything. So I was like, okay, I used the tenor sax. So then, like, my grandma was like, oh, you know what? Like, why don't we get you one instrument? I was like, really? Are you sure? She's like, yeah, we'll go check it out. So I was like, okay, we'll go check it out. So then, but instead of the tenor sax, and they had, tenor sax over there, and they even had, like, the soprano sax. That's the small one. That's the one that Kenny G is known for. It actually looks like a golden clarinet, or it can look like a little mini saxophone, like this one, except even smaller. But the one that Kenny G uses is, like, the long and straight one that has the, like, it looks like a golden clarinet and everything. But yeah, that's the soprano sax. Then there's the alto sax. You can tell by the size, and also this portion over here, like, like the neck portion, like, I'm not going to assemble it now, because, like, I don't feel like really playing it right now, because it's been, like, years, and it's, like, already after 11, like, over half an hour, like, I should wrap this up soon, like, this is just a little demonstration. I showed you certain things, and, like, also, to celebrate, I guess, not celebrate, but mark the anniversary, 10 years, like, I can't believe it. That was one of the most anticipated movies. The first most anticipated movie that, like, I really waited to see was, let's see, probably Spriggan. Yeah, that one I really wanted to see a lot. Like, that anime movie. After seeing just the trailer, and that's the one, it's like a combination of James Bond and Indiana Jones. Like, and I showed that to some of my friends in school, even in, like, during summer school. And, like, during one band class when, like, we had free time, like, I let them watch it and everything, and then, like, it was supposed to be released theatrically in the year 2001. In fact, in the month of September, it had its theatrical screening in New York and LA on, like, September 8th or 9th of 2001. And then, of course, what happened, like, a few days later. And then, like, the whole world changed. And, like, like, at that point, like, no one was really interested in cartoons for the most part. And, like, I can understand. That's totally understandable. And also, like, in spite of them changing, like, like, here, I even have the manga here. Like, here's one of them. Like, I'm missing the second portion. Although, like, somewhere around here, like, I have, like, the entire, what should I call it, the Japanese version of the manga. It's called Spriggan. In fact, I have, like, where did I put those issues? I put them somewhere over here, like, just for quick reference at some point to show you if you want to see it. Where is it? Well, and I have these things, too. In fact, I'm going to put this in part 9. That's what I'm going to do in part 9 of the next video. But Stryker versus the Third Reich, yeah. What are the artifacts? Crystal Skull and the Holy Grail. And it has something to do with, yeah, I'll show you what this is all about and everything. In fact, like, because right now I'm using the photo boot to record this. To do the other one, I'm going to, what should I call it? Like, basically, I'll see if I can upload this tonight to Facebook. I'm going to try and upload this video direct to Facebook. And hopefully the stuff, like right now I have part 6 still uploading on YouTube. Like part 7's uploaded, but I have that one like not listed publicly at the moment because I want to wait for part 6. I have part 7 uploaded, but not part 6, because, yeah, something went wrong, like, when I was uploading 2 at once, like, one of them kind of froze or something, and, like, it made the other ones, like, super slow or something, so, basically, like, after I get 6 and 7 uploaded, I'll post both of them in the correct order onto Facebook in the post, the evidence of prophecy, where I'm essentially going through, like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up my Facebook. I still have it opened up. Hopefully it's not going to like freeze up or something, but I have it to around the portion where I left off at. Like, and that should be sometime in the month of June of 2011. And like, I was going through like, the regular timeline portion. Then I switched over to the activity log because like, like it's interesting how like I was trying to record it one time, but then like, something kind of went wrong or something. And then like, or like I was interrupted, and then but then when I came back to it, like like I kind of thought like let me go check out the activity log, and for some reason it was loading super fast, and I was like wow, like I was able to load the entire year. So I was like, hey, why don't we go through it that way, because the timeline doesn't always list everything you post. So like when you see everything in that context, and like at certain points like. I guess you can freeze frame, you can listen to my commentary. Sometimes, like, I'll be talking about random stuff, but sometimes, like, I'll be talking to the stuff that I'm actually, like, perceiving and seeing and stuff like that. So, this is going to be interesting. Like, this is going to be interesting. Like, yeah, if anything, in the video that I'm going to make, part 9, the next one, like, after part 8, I'm going to say, go to my Facebook page and like go to the video, the Casino Royale anniversary video, because that's what I'm going to title this one. Hopefully I can upload it directly to Facebook. Oh, and look what else I found. It's not gold, but it's like and it's not really that old. It's a newer made, but look, like, I bet you, what fell? Like, there's some pictures, I think. But whose pictures fell? It's your mother's. Hey, Mom. See, she wanted to drop in for a little bit. Not that was, like, a bad sign or anything, because, she's already, passed and everything. She just wanted to make sure you remembered her. Of course, I never forget. It's always there. In fact, like I said, it wouldn't be April without April. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Or I can believe whatever I want, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it means to me. What it means to other people is it's just the month of April, you know what I mean? April's the month of April. Your grandmother named her daughter after the month. It's not the other way around. Or who cares? Like, like, wow, my mom had a lot of interesting books. Because not all of these are mine. Like, some of the Bond books are mine. Some of the other books, like the Striker book, and like, what else? The Bond books. Yeah, definitely those ones and the continuation novels. I'll go over that in part 9. Yeah. But if anything, this was just to share a little, like, something, and like, certain, like, trippy stuff, like, yeah, that stuff, the audio in the background, like, where is that from? Like, if anything, look on my Facebook, the previous, like, posts, like, in some of the threads, it's a Metal Gear Solid game. Look for the ones that have to do with Peace Walker, the game Peace Walker, yeah, and the character named Paz, and she's also, like, in some ways she's featured in the Phantom Pain also, but, like, everything's not as it seems. I don't want to spoil that one. Like, if anything, I have that one also listed, and also, there's one particular Metal Gear Solid post where, essentially, I tried to find, like, movie-length versions of, like, pretty much all the main games that I could, like, you know what I mean? And, like, basically, I'll continue this in part 9, because, like, yeah, this is getting a little long, 38 minutes, so, yes, I'll wrap this up, and, like, if anything, I'll post a little note to Facebook saying, like, oh, sorry about that, folks, like, like, I've been having some issues with YouTube, like, hopefully, like, by, like, morning time, I'll have both 6 and 7 uploaded, and then, like, I'll slowly have, like, some other stuff, like, hopefully I'll have another video uploaded to, Facebook, or, like, if not, I'll try and put this one through, like, YouTube if I have to, but this one shouldn't be nearly as long as the others, so, yeah, like, regrettably, this watch is broken, but isn't that interesting? You found, like, that Joker, because, like, if you look back, like, it was, I think, probably October 15th or 16th, like, there's one video that I posted that there's no sound. They muted it because when I was recording, I was playing certain songs from, like, some, like, movie soundtracks, like, some Bond soundtracks, some other movies, too. Like, I have the uncut video, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, like, maybe I might be able to, like, try and see if I can, like, break it into portions and upload it to YouTube at some point in the future. But at the same time, like, let's just say I got a little bit carried away sometimes. Like, let's just say I had a Roger Moore Bond moment. I was writing some absurd things, like even some other things on my Facebook, like, like just to make a point, like maybe like, because like, if they pay attention to one thing, maybe they'll start looking at other things. Like, wow, 40 minutes already. Like, oh, you might have to put this one to YouTube, you fool. Well, if anything, like as soon as part 6 finishes, because like it should be finished soon, and because since you're using Photo Boot, they can't see this, so check on how good's part 6 coming along. It's only at 39%. Are you absurd? Like, oh my god, this is tripping me out. This is part 6, but part 7's already finished and uploaded. And then part 8, that's the one, it's like 3 mega parts. So like this one is probably going to take a little while for it to like, like patience is a virtue. Like, like think of it like a television series or something. Like, it takes a little bit of time for it to get like, like produced and stuff like that. Like sometimes like you have to wait once a week just to see one episode of something, you know what I mean? And like in the past several days, I've like, uploaded like 5 videos, some of them like in excess of over 2 hours, some of them pushing like, the like 3 hour mark. So like, I've been putting out a decent amount of material. So yeah, like at this point, like I've already presented enough. Like if you pay enough attention to that stuff, or like look back at the past at what I've posted, and please forgive me if like, I've revealed any like of my friends or anything like that. You have nothing to fear, because like I said, like, well, I shouldn't even laugh about it, but like, I'm aware of certain things. Like, yeah, well, I was in AA at one point, like, but that was for like, because of like, supposedly you can go to AA for like, all sorts of substances, but like, alcohol, like, I guess, like, even though I never really had a problem with alcohol, and this was more like, just to bide my time during that period, although I did go to the NA meetings also, because like, but at the same time, like, now it's since been proven that certain substances, like, is not the cause. It's probably like, the lack of that substance, can actually trigger certain things if you have legitimate like certain like, real issues or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because yeah, like I've seen the research, and like, yeah, some things add up, because like in certain controlled safe doses, like, you know what I mean, like it actually helps benefit like, post-traumatic stress disorder, anger disorders, that sort of thing. Like, because like when I was a child, like, I would get angry like very easily and stuff like that. Maybe I had to do it like, certain things, like my grandma would say like, well, it's because you're, when your mom was pregnant with you, like, she did this. Like, although my mom said she stopped doing any type of illicit substance or anything, like, wow, this is really personal, man. Like, well, you know what I mean? This is openness and honesty. What does it say here? To thine own self be true. If anything, this is a private reflection that I'm sharing with my friends. And if you've heard certain things, like, please keep it discreet. But, she wasn't using a, like, illegal drugs. She, like, the drugs that she was on were, like, all prescribed to her. Although, she was on, like, what should I call it? Like, certain, let's just say, uppers and stuff like that, that were prescribed by certain psychiatrists and stuff like that for her to function. But, in her case, she ordered on some heavy duty, like, like the old school antipsychotics, like, Tharzine, Haldol, that sort of stuff, that where you take, like, several doses of that, you're pretty much out of commission for the day. You know what I mean? You can't do nothing for that whole day. So basically, like, she would need something a little, like, pick her up, or to, like, just to function normally, essentially. However, she said when she was pregnant with me, like, she's cut all that stuff out, but except for the most essential things. I don't know, she may have still smoked cigarettes, but she said she stopped drinking also. Well, because she was in sobriety at the time when she got pregnant, because that's where she met my father, and, like, I found another picture of them, like, there, that's them, like, by a beach, like, somewhere on the mainland. But yeah, that's my mom and dad. And then, see there, that's my sister, and, like, because I'm showing that her, like, I'll show me, that was me when I was a kid. Yeah. I was holding a Tintin in America comic. Like, yeah, I was into the Tintin comics. Like, yeah, I'm well versed in, like, those adventure comics and stuff like that. From James Bond to Tintin to, like, what else? Indiana Jones. And, like, video games, like, overseas stuff like Lupin, Gogol 13, Spriggan, the work of Hideyuki Kikuchi and Yoshiaki Kawajiri. Like, they did stuff like Wicked City, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D. Like, what else? Well, it wasn't, like, Hideyuki Kikuchi or Yoshiaki Kawajiri, but, like, who is that? Tuyo Ishida, or the guy who Toyo Ishida or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Please forgive me, but the director of the first Vampire Hunter D, and then the Fist of the North Star movie, which is a good movie, and like there's a character in there with a similar name to, like, women that you knew or women that you know. Yeah, I know what I mean. There's several of them, and also in like another, like, supposedly fictional. Oh my god, what is all those like spots in there? Oh my god, is there mold in there or something? I don't know, it's something weird. Oh my god, what the frick? They're not trying to poison you, are they? You should clean that thing out, poor little bear. If anything, just put it, like, on the shelf as decoration already. Get a new water bottle. You still drink from it. Funny, huh? Well, if I am who I am, like, whatever it is, I make it clean. Isn't that what it says? Like, it doesn't matter what you drink or anything like that. See, I have 2 decks of cards. If anything, we'll continue this in part 9 of my ongoing series. And I recorded something, and honestly, like, right now it's been separated into 4 separate parts, although technically it's 3 separate, like, recordings. Like, it was going to be 3 parts, but, like, like, look at this right now. It's 46 minutes. Isn't it amazing? Like, I just opened my mouth to start talking about one thing, and then it's like I go on and on. It's like, what the heck's going on? Like, you're connected to some type of spirit. Because, like, look, I'm looking at certain things that I've found, and, like, yeah, certain things that I want to share, but, like, it's bigger than just for Facebook. However, this, I'm going to try and see if I can get it posted directly to Facebook. If anything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it to Facebook as soon as part 6 of my ongoing series, The Evidence of Prophecy, is uploaded. Then I'll have both parts 6 and 7 completed and uploaded to YouTube, and also they'll be ready to post directly to Facebook. So if anything, like, let's see, it's almost midnight right now. It's 11:38 p.m. Like, is it 11:38? Oh, 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 again. Like, wow. You see, that's numerology for you, and that's how certain things work. Like, numerology has something to it, and, like, what do you mean? If anything, I'll show you a lot more about this in part 9, and, like, I'll discuss and, like, bring certain things together, because, like, right now I'm looking at certain things, and it's just blowing my mind, the synchronicity. You know what I mean? Like, I've anointed myself earlier, so, like, right now I am within spirit. Everything within spirit. And, like, like, in that other video, like, I made earlier today, it was, like, I was, actually, all those videos, I was trying to be open and honest as possible about certain things, and, like, certain one incident that happened, like, I already discussed it. I even wrote a note. I made a video, like, that I titled, like, kind of sarcastically, like, like, why worry about Donald Trump if you have a wannabe, in your own family, like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, I actually went over, reviewed the video, and I actually shared some of it. But then, now looking back at it, I might have to re-edit it again, because there's one time, like, now maybe it makes sense. Like, maybe, like, the reason why everything happened, like, it was, like, some sort of karmic reason of sorts, possibly, but, like, for not the reason you would think. Like, what happened to my Blockbuster card? It was somewhere over here, but I was going to show you, like, like, if anything, like, yeah, this would be more appropriate for over here to show than, like, for any other place. But, oh, wait, why don't you try and see what card was that? Like, yeah, like, since you showed that other card, it's like, what other cards did you find? Yeah, you found some cards today when you were looking in your room, and, like, all these books, too. Like, I'll show you which books they are in part 9. It will be part 9 after the next 8 parts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, part, like, 8A, part 8B, and part 8C. Yeah, that's the next segment that's coming up in the series. And then once that's uploaded, well, first of all, like I said, what the heck, you're talking in circles already, mate. Like, why don't you move on to part 9 already? You can't find where the cards were that you put, where did they go? I know, did you see where I put them? See, that's what happens when you, oh, quiet. Don't joke around, I know where they are. They're somewhere around here. What book is that over there? Like, I have a lot of books. Like, I'll show them within part 9 and everything, and I'll explain certain things. Like, wow, look, I have all these Bond stories. And, like, it's like, wow, trippy. Very trippy. Where did you put those cards, mate? Well, I put these two over here, that ace and the 6. And if anything, by the time I start part 9, I'll find the cards. Trippy, huh? Well, 49, wow, almost 50 minutes. Yeah, this is going to have to go on YouTube. So if that is the case, then let's see. More likely than not, this evening, I'll post something to Facebook to let you folks know that there's a video coming. I'll try and see if I can get this onto Facebook. Well, I'll post it through YouTube. Basically, I made basically an anniversary to Casino Royale, and an interesting little coincidence that occurred. And like, isn't that funny? I found all except one pieces of that Joker from that one video where like I symbolically took 2 Jokers out of like a deck, and like, you know, I was like doing some like funny things with a lighter from, but then I went, I went, and like it was like that. Like, I don't know, why was I doing that like funny laugh or something? Like, what were you symbolically doing? Like, you know, I don't know. Like, I perceived it as like, you know, something that wasn't supposed to be like right, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I was able to like, so I guess those 2 Jokers from a certain deck. Like, this is the more used deck, like not the like brand new one looking one, but yeah, here's this deck, this older deck, and like, you know, you found all the cards. Like, I think in one of the earlier videos you're saying, was that in a video or was I just exclaiming in like actual real time? Oh, look, those cards are backwards. What are they? One of them's the Ace of Spades, and it's inverted when you flipped it over. What cards are the 3 that were flipped upside down? Or there's an inverted Ace, Queen of Hearts, and a 4 of Spades. Interesting. And then there's that. Like, this symbol is like, and there's no Jokers. As you can see, the Jokers that I tore up were obviously from this deck. Because the other one, in spite of it being from the same, like, you know, it was a 2-pack of cards. 2-pack of cards. Here's the other one. Look, the deck is different. And, you know, lo and behold, I was able to find all the missing Jokers. Or the ones that, like, you know, I had removed the Jokers from this one too, but I found them. And the other card too. So I found this card. And then here's the 2 Jokers. And then, so I guess, like, the ones that got torn up over here, that's these ones. Like, I don't know, maybe, like, they might remember whose decks these are. But I have, like, other decks, too. Like, wow, what the heck are you doing here, mate? Like, you're taking up time. Like I said, I'm going to put this one to YouTube before I start uploading part 8 of my series. And this one I'm going to leave unlisted. That means, unless you have the link, you won't be able to view this. So, basically, like, as soon as part 6 is finished uploading, which shouldn't be too long, like probably within like the next like couple hours, and like, you know, I actually got some rest this afternoon, so like, you know, like I'll be able to stay up a little bit later tonight, so like I might be up like I don't know how long I'll be up, because like I don't know, because where's my sleeping pills? Hold on. Here's my sleeping meds like over here, so when I take that, like I go to sleep. So if I don't take that, like, you know, if I keep thinking about things, or I read something, or, you know, do something, or make a video or something, I can find the energy to stay up. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just, like, you know, every now and then, like, in between breaks and stuff like that, but wow, you're going on and on. Like, this is life in real time, and me being as candid as possible to try and show you, like, you know, like, this is no joke, it's no illusion, or like, you know, an act or anything like that. It's like for real, because like, you know, there's different people. This is not to say like, oh, you know, I discovered some conspiracy, it's this. No, it's deeper than that. I discovered something far bigger than that. I discovered exactly what they were praying for me to find, the truth about God and other, like, you know, things like, you know, like, yeah, save certain things for that video. If anything, save it for the opener. Like, save certain things, because if anything, leave it in closing for part, like, this will be continued in part 9, but in closing for this, you know, anniversary to the, you know, theatrical release of, and like, I have the DVDs there. I have the first DVD release, the 2-disc widescreen edition, and I have the 3-disc, like, DVD deluxe edition that was released right before Quantum of Solace hit theaters. That was one of the final, like, I guess, like, you know, really, really deluxe DVDs, because, like, after that, like, 2009, 2010, that's where they started phasing out the 2-disc DVD releases. And now, like, if you want to get, like, all the special features, it's Blu-ray. That's the format, or the preferred format. So, let's see. This deck has its Jokers. Ironically or interestingly. Ironic or interesting? I don't know. That's where you decide. What's the first card on it? Let's just see what the cards are. In fact, let's look for the 3 that you showed in that picture. Let's see. You are the King of Hearts. In fact, that's one of your cards. It appears as one of your cards in your birth spread, I think, but it's not your actual birth card. Let's see. You had the Jack of Hearts. You said this is a card that called out to you, even though it's not a birth card of yours. It was a card that called out to you when you were thinking of the deck, like, and you were thinking, like, because I knew certain cards, like, I wasn't for sure if it was the Jack of Hearts was the one I was thinking about, because sometimes, like, I get mixed up, you know, like, but, like, yeah, like, you want me to be honest, I was looking for the One-Eyed Jack. One-Eyed Jack. But, wait a minute. Last time, it was inverted, but now it's right side up again, but it was inverted in the other deck. But this deck's brand new. Was it shuffled? For the most part, it looks like it's been shuffled a little bit. The funny thing is, like, some of the cards are not perfect and everything. It's not. This deck is not perfect. You know, and what exactly? You know, and where the not to make fun or an indictment, but look. Oh. It reminds me of one time, like, you know, for New Year's, not to be racist or anything like that, but, like, you know, one of my relatives, like, you know, like, he was able to obtain certain, like, this was years and years ago, I was a kid and stuff like that, and, you know, thousands and thousands of people in Hawaii, like, you know, certain relatives of they're able to, like, procure certain types of, like, fireworks. Let's just leave it at that. And I remember one year we tried it, or, like, he tried lighting it, and then, like, nothing happened. He's like, those damn, you know what, like, they, you know, ripped us off or something, like, oh my god, it's like, and I remember Jay Leno used to put, like, you know, sometimes, like, weird instructions, like, they're trying to translate, some things get lost in translation or something like that, but no, I have no problem with anything made in China, because there's some good stuff from China, you know what I mean, it's just, you gotta make sure it's quality, because, like, every country has bogus stuff, even America, like, there's some things, like, yeah, like, even today, like, it's kind of like, but it's absurd, like, you know, like, I was showing, for instance, like, maybe in the next video, I'll re-raise this subject, I'll say, like, okay, if you're watching this video, like, you'll probably, like, have, what should I call it, or basically, I'll say, like, yeah, if you've seen this video, you've probably seen part 9, because in this part 9, I'll say, like, hey, if you're watching this part 9, like, you know, go check out my Facebook, because, like, over there should be this video should be posted. It's an anniversary to, like, you know, the 10-year, like, you know, 10 years after the release of the, you know, the Daniel Craig version of Casino Royale, and, like, that's, like, you know, the only other Bond film that's had multiple adaptations, like, here's the other One-Eyed Jack. It's a Jack of Spades. Just for reference, this card never really actually called out to me. Oh, did you invert them again, or did you put it back upright? No, this one's still inverted. An inverted ace. But this one, you couldn't really, this one wouldn't be a good deck to play with, because look at this ace. Like, it would be so obvious to find, yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like, you know, why is it so worn? Because, like, yeah, I would use it as, like, you know, like, I'd shuffle it randomly sometimes just for the fun of it. So you make sure I leave it inverted. But 58 minutes, almost an hour. Yep, this is going to YouTube. And I'm going to put, like, you know, special, like, you know, Casino Royale 10 anniversary tribute. And, like, you know, like, I had that one little audio bit. Oh, my God. I hope it's not going to... dang, I should try and... I might split this into 2 parts and put it on YouTube. Or maybe even 3 parts. I'll try and do that. Yeah, I'll try and do that. And then, yeah, I'm going to put it, not on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm going to try and get this directly to Facebook. We'll see how it goes, alright? And then, like, probably tomorrow, like, but I'll do that after, like, what should I call it? Yeah, I'll let this play out to an hour then, because it's at 59 minutes and 1 second now. So, alright, I'll let this wrap up. But yeah, here, this was the first what? What the heck are you talking about? Like, maybe I was thinking about myself or something. Funny, huh? Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, well, pussy. Big pussy, everything. It's all the same. You know what you like. Those tots. Because, yeah, you've never done anything weird. If anything, like, you know what it's like to experience, like, certain forms of pain. What are you talking about? Like, let's say, like, you know, I know, well, not exactly the same thing as, like, Bond in Casino Royale, but yeah, at least after Casino Royale, makes you wonder, did that thing make you wonder what it was like to be, like, in a situation like that? Because, like, yeah, like, in the closest I've ever come to something was, like, you know, I was in a context of, like, you know, certain things, and, like, for what it's worth, they say, if you want to, like, be, like, you're being so too open, too much information. Well, it's already there if you read all my notes. What are you talking about, man? Let's just leave it at that then. It's a mystery. You gotta piece it together. It's a riddle and everything. But like I said, everyone is, like, not really perfect or anything, but maybe that's not the idea. But at the same time, I make a compelling point. In fact, like I said, I'll continue this in part 9, alright? Oh yeah, it's over an hour already. Hour and 35 seconds, 36. So, alright, good night. And, you know, this is an anniversary of the 10th anniversary of the release of this film. Here, you have the cards for it. Oops. Like, what should I call it? So yeah, I'm going to try and put this direct to Facebook, because it's, like, but I'm going to have to divide this video up into separate portions or parts. But yeah, like, I have a whole bunch of books over here. Wait, did you get the card from this one yet? No. What is this book? Yeah, it's that. Oh, it's an 8 of diamonds. So yeah, it's another red bicycle card. 8 of diamonds. Where did the other bicycle cards go? Didn't you find them? And you put them down again or something? Or were you looking at the other deck? Maybe I was looking at the other deck. But yeah, that's an 8 of diamonds card. I know I've seen a 9 of diamonds, possibly a 10 of diamonds. What else was there? Or what is this? Oh yeah, you have those 2 video cards. Diamond Head video's gone. Nippon video's gone. Like, I used to rent Japanese movies, you see. And Diamond Head, like, you know, they had a lot of, like, that's where I would rent certain, like, you know, they had the rare movies that, like, you wouldn't find at Blockbuster. Even, like, Tower Records used to rent movies, but they're gone. Blockbuster's gone. All the video rentals, except for Red Boxes, gone. Yeah, what do you have here? Like, I have the Quantum of Solace collection, Octopussy, and the Living Daylights. In fact, although this book is essentially For Your Eyes Only, and this, the short story collection, this is the complete James Bond short story collection. If anything, like, I'll get part 9 started before midnight, possibly. Well, or, it's 11:53 already. Oh, 53, 1953. That's the year when the original. Why don't you just find the novel? Where did you put it? What is all that clinking? That's those old coins of yours. My God, man, you. Come on, quick. You're stolen. Yeah, I know, this is life in real time. You know what I mean? Like, nothing, sometimes not everything works out perfectly. Let me put this somewhere over there. Like, I'll show you what that book is later. Like, maybe it might trip you out, maybe it might not. But yeah, here we go. I found them. Like, here we go. Here's the original. Well, this isn't the original. I have another copy of it. Like, you know, it doesn't have the dust jacket. Dust jacket? What are you speaking about? Like, you know how books, like, you know, the old books. What do you mean, old book? Like, can I find it? Yeah, you might as well, since you said you're going to divide it up anyway, right? Yeah, so you have the time to look for it. Where did you put it? Like, yeah, you put all this stuff, like, you went digging through your room today and, like, stacking stuff up. But this is in fact, this isn't even the original one, because, like, you know that time, like, you know, like, I admitted in another video, and, like, even in a post on Facebook that, you know, like, even though I have multiple copies of the Word of, you know, God, but, like, you know, I have, like, so many different versions of the King James Version. Like, I have, at this time, just one of those little Gideons, like, you know, just the New Testament version of the NKJV. But if I really wanted to, like, research the, you know, Old Testament side of that, I can always go on to, like, online, and, like, you know, they have, like, you know, multiple resources that have, like, you know, access to the Bible verses. If I want to research not just the Bible, if I want to see, like, you know, maybe even the Muslim, the Quran perspective, I can look for that. Let's see, the Harper Dictionary of Modern Thought. I also have something called the Harper Dictionary of the Bible. What is this? The book about books. Like, wow, what the heck? Like, a friend of mine gave me this. Lord, teach us to pray. Like, what is this? Like, yeah, you see, I have a lot of different spiritual perspectives, you know, and, like, some things are not even, like, just spiritual. It's like, you know, it's fictional. Like, you know, this one, like, Godfather. But, like, you know, this is like, like, not saying like, it makes the person a bad person. It just makes you like see a certain perspective. Like I said, I saw this movie like when I was in not third grade. Maybe it was the second half of third grade, but it was before. It was at least by fourth grade I had seen this movie, at least the edited version. In fact, I still have the VHS of it that I purchased it, or not purchased, but my grandma purchased for me as a gift because like maybe like a couple weeks or a month after it was shown on USA, maybe they knew that and like they did it as a promotion or something. But they had the VHS, like here it is, right here. I got the widescreen copy, I think, or is this the full screen, or is it the widescreen? It might be the what you call it, yeah, but yeah, I remember this one. And one of my friends, I remember, like he, like he had a copy of like another Al Pacino movie. Well, this one, that's Marlon Brando. Well, he's holding a cat. Like yeah, like this. If you haven't seen this movie, like it's all right if you watch it or you don't watch it if you read the book or I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's one of those movies like it's worth watching for the perspective to see like the humanity or like the lack of it or the reality of like certain like I guess lifestyles that exist out there that are real. Like some people pretend like they don't exist or like or it's like something like, oh, they're scary people. No, they're flesh and blood like you and me. You know what I mean? And like some of them, like or some people that you wouldn't even believe, like would get their hands dirty or something. Or sometimes it's not even about getting your hands dirty. Sometimes all it means is just look the other way or just pay no attention to the man behind the curtain mentality. That's how it is. And like sometimes, like when it comes to the real, like truly minor or petty things that matter not in the grand scheme of things, like yeah, like, might as well just not worry about it. But like if it's something like life and debt, like someone like not just normal life and debt or something like that, like maybe two people or something, like they're having some sort of like an argument or something, like in that case, like like maybe like try and keep your distance, because I've heard stories of like good Samaritans and what happens to good Samaritans. You got to be cautious and everything. Like I heard like like media, when they tell you certain incidents, like oh this happened, like someone was stabbed, they don't tell you like the full story. Because like I knew someone who knew someone who was, I actually knew someone who like had like the person that did something at his house at one point. What are you kidding me? Yeah, because like he was a mutual friend of someone. But like basically this person was like this is just it's like real life true story and everything. And it's someone like don't worry, it's no one on Facebook or something like this. But maybe if you live in Hawaii, you might kind of figure out like what I'm talking about. But like I'll just say the most general details. Basically, this person was having an argument with their significant other, and like let's see, what did they find? Like what was that? Like what's it called? All these cards that fell apart. Like like the deck kind of fell apart. I don't have the full deck, regrettably. But like I found most of it. I can always get another one. I think, oh crap! You did the same thing again. You dropped them. Like, oh, you found another coin, though. Like, oh no, did that coin fall out of your hand, though? So does it make any difference? Thankfully, none of them. Oh, wait, one of them went on the floor. Wait, make sure you got them all. Like, dang, you're delaying yourself. How many hours or how many minutes? Hour and 8 minutes already. Hour and 10 minutes almost. Like, yeah, you better wrap this up and, like, divide it into certain parts. Upload it to Facebook. But first, post a comment announcing that, okay, as soon as like I get like I say not yeah. Just make the comment. All right, you don't have to say it in the video. They'll get the message. All right. What the heck? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to myself. This is what long-term isolation will do. It's like like acting of sorts. Like yeah, but like I said, like I'll explain it in part 9. So once all of this is uploaded to Facebook, I'll explain in part 9 what I am referring to, alright? Like, I'll try and explain it as best as possible. Let's see, do I have all the coins? Like, in fact, where's this one? This coin I received from someone, like, somewhat famous also, in Hawaii. Like, they have a story behind, like, them and everything. And I met this person. I won't reveal what, because... But like I said, it's a small island, and, like, you meet people, and then, like, you hear the stories in the media, but then... Like, when you meet them in real life, it's like, it's like, wow, they're human beings. You can't, like, demonize them and stuff like that. People make mistakes and stuff like that for like the silliest reasons, or not silliest reasons. Yeah, over certain things, like yeah, it's really, like, you gotta know what you're doing or be responsible and think about the consequences. Oh, look, I have one card from a different deck and I dropped them again. Oh my god, you're hilarious, buddy. Yeah, I know. It's just these cards are so small. Like, well, like, I learned this game as a young child. Like, I used to play this with, like, my grandmother, my grandfather, like, who else? Like, some of my friends. Oh, look what you found. You found that one. And you found this one that you were trying to show everyone earlier. Like, what a interesting way to close it out, huh? Yeah, like, everything comes full circle. What did you find? It's Casino Royale, and not just any Casino Royale. Like, you see, I tried to, like, even my odds, like, or, like, try and, like, get as many as possible, or, like, try and get, like, see if I got the correct copy, because, like I said, one time I got frustrated, like, not just at, like, the holy word, like, even Casino Royale, the novel, the copy that I had, because if you know the ending of that story, I got pissed at that story. I tore it into, like, a million pieces, too, just like I did to the holy word, so you can't accuse me. Like, if you're a Ian Fleming James Bond devotee, like, you're probably going to be like, fetch the flick bin Walters, time to blow the bloke's brains out. Like, seriously, like, if people revered Bond in that context, it would be absurd if true. But yeah, I was just making a point. But there are some people, if you were to do that to their holy text or their prophet or, like, their revered ones, they would, be like that, or worse, they'd be like, let's, fetch, like, the blaze, let's take the guy's head off or something. Or, like, let's get the Kalashnikovs, or, like, let's fetch the bombs, this, that, you know what I mean? Like, is that really the appropriate response over just a bunch of words and people's blood is being spilled? You know what I mean? It's just absurd. Might as well, even though this thing doesn't work, but you know what I mean? Like, to the words of madness, not, like, you know what I mean? If people are going to use that to justify, the death and murder and torture and enslavement and, like, what else, rape of innocents, which happens on, like, it's happening every day right now in certain portions of the world, and, like, they're not really focusing on it because, like, yeah, it's better that way, you know what I mean? Let's just live our lives. I'm just letting you people know that, like, to know that, good and evil is not just some, like, meaningless concept or something you see, like, oh, it's in the movies, like, the good guys fight the bad guys, and, like, the good guys win, and then that's the end of the story. But yeah, for this one, copyright 1953. This is, I think it's an original first edition. Just the only thing is it does not have the dust jacket. And what's the first chapter called? The Secret Agent. Yeah, first chapter, The Secret Agent. And then, what are you trying to say? What was one of the earliest, like, espionage novels? Like, here, I'll just show them for perspective. And this will continue in part 9. Like, this is a good place to somewhat, like, I guess, like, wrap it up for the time being, maybe? Yeah, let me try and find, like, where I put, oh, look at this. Yeah, I found, like, look who it is. It's the actress who played Vespa, Ava Green. Like, oh, wow. Where did you get that? Like, it came with one of the newspapers. Like, yeah, she's pretty, isn't she? But, yeah. Yeah. Interestingly enough, she was in this other movie called, what should I call it? Saint Trinians or something. Like, that's interesting. Like, who's this? Marina. What was this? Aisha. My. Oh, wow. I guess it's interesting. Wow. Oh, there, the Lady Eva. Eva Green Bond Girl. Like, wow. Oh, and this is another one. Carte Blanche. Rules are for fools. This is a different... Wait, when was this published? Actress Ava Green. New York Times. Like, whoa. This is New York Times. Yeah, you see, I told you it was with a newspaper. Like, wow, this is going on for, like, let's end it at, like, near an hour and 15 minutes. Like, what's the date on this? Where did they put the date on it? I need to find out. Hold on. There has to be a contents, right? Or is it just, like, nothing but advertisements? No. Or here we go, New York Times. Winter 2008. 2008, that's 2 years before the publication of Carte Blanche. carte blanche. Which carte blanche? This carte blanche. And I'm not grabbing the paperback. I'm grabbing the large print edition because I don't know what happened to my jacketed copy. Because like I had a jacketed copy. Look at this. Why did someone put red and then black stains in the back when I bought this? And also the front, like I removed it, but where did I put it? I saved it somewhere. It's probably in the drawer, but yeah, someone put a sticker or something like like a political thing. Sunday, the Red Danube. Like, yeah, they put a sticker over here, but I removed it. Like that was like promoting a certain political perspective. But yeah, like you know what I mean. This is interesting. Like, well, not interesting. Like I read this novel. And that was the same time when I purchased that novel originally. It was like, essentially the same size almost as this, except published by Simonson and Schuster. You see, this one was one of the first recent ones. This was 2008. This is 2010. Let's see. What was 2013? This was 2013. Solo. This one honestly was honestly, this has the least like overt action in a James Bond novel since the original novel Casino Royale. In fact, I would argue Casino Royale has a little more action than this one, or is a little more satisfying. Although this one, it's almost as if, just Bond just goes through the motions in a sense. The name of the novel is Solo, and it's something to do, of all things, what it has to do with, a plot involving African nation. Like, I think it might even be a fictional nation. Like 45th birthday, James Bond, British Special Agent 007. Well, it's 1969 in this novel. 69. Oh wow, that's the year you moved to this island, your family. Or it's a year of many things. Also, the year we made it to the moon. So what are you tripping about? Let's see. When is this? Let's see. Does it give you a year for this one? This might have been taking place in 68, possibly. Does it say? Let me see. What's her name? Larissa. This one, I think they made a mistake, in the miles over here in the map. And I'll show you more in part 9 already, because yeah, it's over 1 hour and 16 minutes. So, and it's past midnight, so it's November 18th. So I started recording this on the 17th. So this is to pay homage or anniversary to the 10th anniversary of the release of this Bond movie, Casino Royale. See, there it is. You can see it right there. And maybe I'll upload the entirety to YouTube also at a future time. And I'll have to decide about that other thing too. I'll explain it in part 9. Let's just say I'll explain it in part 9. So you're like, what? So yeah, most likely you'll probably see part 6 and 7 before this, or part 6 and 7 will be up on my Facebook to view before this, alright? And then, next will come, let's see, should I put part 8 up, or should I upload this? That's a tricky one, huh? I'll think about it. I'll try and upload this. I'll see which one's bigger in terms of, the gigabyte size. Because, yeah, part 8, that file is, massive for some reason. I have no idea why. Even though, I was speaking for, 4 hours and everything. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Last time I looked, it was 1 hour and 16. And, my God. It's yeah, something, you have no perception of time. It's you're living in something else. You're living in, some sort of, spirit of sorts. Yeah. Okay, I have a lot of things I need to share. Maybe I might pull an all-nighter tonight. Because, good thing I got some decent rest this afternoon. What are you doing with all these phones? Yeah, man, you're tripping me out. I don't know, I just found them, you know what I mean? Oh, frig it. Holy mother of God, what are all these? How did the cards wind up here, man? What cards? The Hanafuda. Yeah, I used to play it with, one of my friends in, intermediate school. Me and her used to play, during lunch break. And then, a couple of my friends, over the years, we would play different card games. Sometimes we play Texas Hold'em. He had his own professional poker chips. It would be, maybe 2, 3, 4. Usually, at least 3 of us. Me, him, and another friend. We'd be watching movies, either on my laptop or his, via DVD, or, sometimes, there's ways, don't need to talk about certain things, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just keep it to the thing. Well, I pay my due. When I want to see a movie in theaters, I'll go to theaters. I'll buy the DVD, that sort of thing. So, I pay my dues. So, like, you know, if I ever do something and, like, you know, I never, like, you know, I cannot discuss certain things. Well, for what it's worth, I did write an in-depth essay about that whole scene and everything when I was in college, and I got an A+ on it. That was in my college essay writing class. It was like something called, what did I call it? We call it Martian accounting or something like that. But yeah, that's for another story, like, or something. But yeah, onwards to part 9. Like, if anything, I might take a little break and then I'll resume. I'll make part 9 this evening. Because, yeah, I already finished part 8. That one's been divided up. And, like, let's see, right now, part 6 of all things is still downloading. I didn't find the 7 of spades, but I did find this. You know, 5. And then in the... Oh, it might not be a straight flush. Because, like, yeah, it's not the same suit. Like, you have a 7, and there's a 7 in the opening sequence, and this is a 7 of hearts. You should research the meaning of those cards, too, if anything, because you're going to use the, let's call it the QuickTime player, right? Yeah. You see, you're talking to yourself for reference, too, because you're just by yourself, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, I need, you know, more interaction. Even though you do have social interaction, you don't act like this around other people, thankfully. Like, wow. Because, yeah, right now you're channeling spirit. Amazing. Hour and 20 minutes. Wow, 80 minutes you've been speaking just about Casino Royale. Since you've been talking so long about it, you might as well show something exactly from that movie. Like, don't you have some, like, memorabilia? Yeah, in fact, more of that. Well, you showed Ava Green, you showed the novels. Like, oh my god, everything's slipping and sliding now. What is all going on here? Like, I'll explain it afterwards. Like, because, yeah, but in honor of Casino Royale, where is it in here? Let's see, I have it saved. What do you have saved? What is in that drawer? Like, all sorts of trinkets and stuff. Like, you know, I keep searching. Oh, wow. Like, there's, like, golf pegs and, like, there's, like, stamps or something. Like, wow. Like, hey, careful, man. Oh, wow, some shirts or something. Like, what is it? Oh, okay, I see it. This is gonna trip them out. Here it is. I saved it from, like, way back then. The popcorn thing, yeah. With that has the poster image, and like that's the image on the deluxe edition DVD. I hope nothing fell out of this drawer, or like I knocked over some things though. Like I think I see a Beavis and Butthead DVD. Oh, I see the parody movie. This one, you know, I don't mind this movie. Or this one's funny too. I like this one. Only seen the second movie, Spy Who Me into the Others. Awesome, but the first one's funny, but like, you know, there's different variations of it to the international versions that show like alternate cuts of certain scenes. Yeah, like it's interesting. It's like also like the real life story. Like you don't want to research like certain characters. Like you know when you find out like their real backstory or what happened to them, like or where they're at now, it's like oh my god, like horrible. Like they should have like why does that movie have to be associated? But what did Daniel Craig say? He said, well, Austin Powers like in reference to Spectre, he said Austin Powers effed us. What does that mean? Oh, what? You have another one of those boxes? What's in that? My movie ticket collection. Oh, and even another ticket. Like, what should I call it? One of my friends, like, we went to a concert. Like, well, yeah, you see one of my good friends. Yeah, that was pretty cool. What is this? Like, Winfrey Movies, Regal Entertainment. Wow, 520. Oh, that's someone you know. Actually, it's 2 people you know's birthday. Or several people you know's birthday. In fact, one of your family members' birthday, and a friend, and another friend, and then some other friend, and like, it's not your birthday, though, but your birthday's 10 days later, but yeah, like, how, wow, you have a lot of tickets. Like, you know, I have so many tickets, like, you see, I saw Casino Royale. I saw when there was still Wallace Restaurant Row 9 theaters, the Dollar Theater. I went to see Incredibles there. Like, I also saw, what is that, Batman Begins there. That's where, before they became just a Dollar Theater, this is the oldest ticket, I think, in the collection from 2004, from July 2nd, 2004. And that was before, like, things, like, kind of really changed. That year was, like on July 14th, or July 13th of that year, like, something serious happened with me, like, and everything. But that's something personal. I kind of hinted at it before. I've revealed to certain people, like, if you listen to this video, you might be able to connect the dots and figure out, oh, so that's when that happened. Like, yeah, and, like, it's strange coincidences, like, my name, certain character names, like, look through my Facebook, if you get the chance, like, well, if I'm posting this to Facebook, yeah, it's going to be almost an hour and a half long. So that would be like 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. So, yeah, you can evenly divide it up like that into like maybe 3 parts. And it shouldn't be that long. Hopefully, it's not like a super big gigs or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully it'll work and like like it won't be like like funky or anything. Because if I try to put this on like what should I call it like YouTube, they might recognize the soundtrack of some of the stuff in the background and they might block it or edit it. You know what I mean? Because like in fact, some of those videos like and if you can see stuff that I post, that's great because I can see certain things that I post, even though it says like some things like it contains like they can detect that you have copyrighted material, even though it's like an image of a copyrighted material, and like if that's the case, like basically I think you can't make it public, but you can still watch it. You can make it private or like even unlisted. But like I don't know, I'm not gonna speculate because like maybe it's a loophole, and like if they hear this or somehow because like. Maybe I shouldn't put this onto YouTube or something, or like you better not tell YouTube or something, because like YouTube's a good resource. Like certain perspectives, like movies, like it's people sharing their perspectives on things. You know what I mean? Like I said, like might as well at this point. Like this is in honor of like Casino Royale. Like like so, well even though it's not November 17th, this is the day after already. Like it was released. I started recording this on that day, the day of. That what the heck is that? Like, it's for like candy, popcorn, or stuff like that, or like when I clean certain things, like what is that? Like it's one of my other favorite movies, Spriggan. Like in fact, I have some cards from it over here. Even have some Pokemon cards. What? Like American and Japanese versions. Yeah, I used to collect them. Although all my rare cards, they wound up with my friend. Like, what should I call it? What's his name? Yeah, the one who's on the mainland. I wonder if he's treating those cards good. Like, I shouldn't have given them all to him. Or he kind of just took them. Like, see, what else do you have? Oh, this was from my aunt. Like, too bad the water's all gone. There used to be water in here, but it evaporated. Isn't that kind of strange? There's an image of or a little figurine of the Virgin, but it had some water from Lourdes. Like, in Spain, like where the Fatima had her prophecy and everything, like so. Yeah, wow, or something. I think that's where it was. But yeah, yep, interesting. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see, there's all my medical paperwork for that and some other things. Like I have my memory book. I have my like what should I call it? My memory book from like when I was a little kid, like all my awards and stuff like that. But yeah. If anything, part 9, like I'll use the internet and other things. Like basically, I'll delve into the meat of certain things, and like I'll show how prophecy or like perspectives and everything like that, and I'll show the different books and things like that. All right, so yeah, alrighty. Let's see. Oh, it's 27. Like I said, I want to try and make this like an even hour and a half, 90 minutes. Might as well, since I made it this far. Like why not? Like, I don't have to, like, go all the way over the top. What is that from? This anime called Dirty Pair. Dirty Pair. Do you have the DVD? Somewhere over there. What do you mean somewhere over there? Like, I misplaced it. It's an anime, like, and it's not as bad as you think. It's not, like, like hentai or anything like that. Hentai, if anyone doesn't know, like I'm just explaining for like people who don't know what I'm speaking of. It's essentially like I guess you could consider it pornographic. Some of them have some alright stories or decent stories, passable stories and stuff like that. But some of them are like just like essentially it's animated pornography of some sort. But like sometimes pornography has its uses. Like you should find something else to mark this. Like I use that, yeah, ironic, isn't it? Or interesting thing that you should do that. Or put that as a marker. But yeah, you had some good doctors. Hopefully they're alright and everything. You didn't tell them anything crazy. But yeah, this book too, like it's called Behold the Pale Horse. Isn't that like a scripture? Let's see, it's written by Milton William Cooper. And I looked and Behold the Pale Horse. Let's see, 129. So yeah. It is scripture, Book of Revelations, chapter 6, verse 6. Behold a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword and with hunger. Published by Light Technologies. You know, that's the weird thing. Like, well, William Cooper was a Christian. And maybe in part 9, like, I'll explain more of this, because, like, there's certain things in here, like, wow, it connects, like, from one thing to another, to another, to another. Let's see, what is this? DOD University Forum. Let's see, June 87, May 84. Let's see, what is this? President of California Institute in 84. Let's see, what is this in 84? Or in 87, UC Berkeley. Santa Barbara. I was born in 87. Cal. What is the name of this group? Jason Group of DOD Consultants with MITRE. What the heck? July 8, 1987, University of California, Berkeley. Where's your birth certificate? It's over an hour and a half. Let it go already. Or if anything, like, wow. You just gotta, what? Defense specialist, whoa. Look at those names. You recognize anything or anything? Anyway. Oh, no, not really. They're probably all covers anyway, huh? You don't see your name, do you? Well, I see someone. Oh. What did you see? I don't know. Yeah, they look like bogus. Probably are. That's what your assessment would be? Yeah, that's what my assessment would be. Or, yeah, do you think they would really put real people's names out there and things like that? Look at this. I'm holding some of my bun nobles. Oh, it's 31 minutes. Alright. So, with that, folks, it's already after midnight, so it's November 18th, and let's see, thank you for listening to this. I'm going to divide this video up and upload it to Facebook in due time. In the meantime, I'm going to post a comment to Facebook, and then as soon as part 6 is finished uploading to YouTube, I'll get that and part 7 of the evidence of prophecy uploaded or posted onto my Facebook page in that ongoing thread. And if you've watched everything so far, which, well, you would have to have, like, no like real time or anything, like kind of like like me. What is this book? This is one of my mom's books. Like, I'll show you in part 9 what it's called. Like, sounds kind of interesting. But yeah, like, you have to follow on the story, you know what I mean? Yep, the story's like interconnected. If anything, what I'm gonna do is, like, at the beginning of part 9, like, well, I don't have to tell you, I have to tell them, so I'm gonna put that in part 9, alright? Like, look, I found, like, another, like, bogey phone, or, like, not bogey phone, like, a broken phone, or, like, an old phone, and here's my Zippo. Like, oh, look, an Asian trinket, like, from my karate kid or something like that. Oh. Yes, I am part Japanese. Some of my family was from portions of Japan, like, direct from there. Like, I can tell you the interesting stories. In fact, I'll tell you it in part 9. Maybe when we get to the You Only Live Twice portion. Like, or maybe, like I said, I'm going to try and wrap up that series within 12 postings, or 12 parts at the very, like, maximum. That's what I intend or hope for. If, like, it exceeds that, though, then so be it. But, like, you know what I mean? And then after that's completed, I'm still debating if I should post what that supposedly humorous thing, because I inadvertently blurted out something that was stupid. Like, I said, oh, I have friends with blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my god, what the frick are you saying that for? Like, I mentioned an alphabet of sorts. Let's just leave it at that. And, like, I'm not saying anyone on my Facebook or anyone that I'm directly connected with or anything like that. I don't even know nothing. Like, I'm a historian. That's what I am. I'm a historian of sorts. Like, I'm an unpaid historian, but, like, I'm an historian. Like, these videos that, like, I'm posting under the series or the heading, like, the evidence of prophecy. One of the tags I post is espionage and religion. Oh, oops, can't even see my face. And history. Espionage, religion, history. Well, how does that connect? You'll see. Maybe in the next posting I'll explain some of it. Or maybe it might be in a later one. Like, maybe, because there's going to be part 9, part 10, part 11. Hopefully I'm going to try and keep them, like at the very like maximum, if possible, I'll try and keep them under the like or at least 2 hours. At the maximum 2.5 hours. Hopefully nowhere near like 3 hours or even 4 hours like that one that I had. Like part 8 was 4 hours long. Like yeah. Look, you're talking for almost an hour and 35 minutes now. It's hour 34, 40, 30, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Yeah, you see, look, you keep talking on and on and on. What's driving you, man? Why are you talking to yourself like that? It's spirit. See, it's creative spirit, though. Like, like, this is how, like, if someone was, like, writing a scene in a novel with, like, 3 different or 4 different characters, like, this is me talking that out loud in person. Oh, interesting. Could be. That could be true. But yeah, see, hour 35 minutes, so let's see, and it is 12:26 a.m., so yeah, like it's morning time already, alright? As soon as I wrap this video up, I'm gonna post a quick, like, post to Facebook, and then, like, I'll try and get this video divided up, and I'll see how things are going with YouTube, and we'll see when everything's ready to go, and everything, but I'll keep you updated if anything, but at the very least, by morning time, or maybe in a couple hours, maybe within the next hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops. Let me check, in fact. Let's see how it's going. The upload. Oh, yeah, you're at 51% uploaded. So that means, like, maybe a couple hours more. Like, maybe, if it's 12 right now, yeah, it's probably going to be ready by morning time. Like, maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, I'm talking. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, crap, so we waited the whole day for nothing. Well, sometimes, like, it's, please forgive me, like, it's the technology. Like, the thing, I actually tried recording it several times, but it got, like, it didn't really fully, like, load, or, like, it stopped, like, uploading after a certain point, so I had to restart the process, like, actually twice on some of those. And here's the paperback version of, like, Devil May Care that's different in American. And then the British hardcover version is actually far more provocative. It shows, like, a slight outline of, like, a nude female. Like, right, I'm just saying exactly what it is. And her hair, it's like, well, I'll save this for part 9. Okay? Yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? If anything, this was to celebrate one thing, and like I said, I was going to go outside and enjoy a relaxing smoke. Where did I put my smokes? I saw my pack of smokes, but like it got overrun by certain things. If anything, like, oh my god, what is this? What is that? What is that? It's a pin of some sort. Oh, what name was that? That's a good name, or someone you know. Don't brag. What the heck are you doing? Oh, whoa, wow, you're an acrobat, man. What is this all about today? It was about celebrating this. Oh, and look, let me show you something from, like, when I was a kid. Like I said, like, in one of my notes, like, from the other day. Look, how it's really into cement mixers when I was a kid. And I like how in Casino Royale, in the action sequence at the beginning, in the construction site, you can see a cement truck. But yeah, look at that. Yeah, I got the deluxe edition. I do not have the Blu-ray, regrettably, of this one. But yeah, but, like, these ones... Let's see, like, yeah, I got, like, Casino Royale. It's all about Casino Royale right now. And then, let's see, well, this video, you know what I mean? Even though it's November 18th, like, it started recording on the 17th, so, and Quantum of Solace. Yeah, the sequel, like, if anything, I'll explain this far more in depth. Like, wow. Like I said, this is life living, like, like, living live, living real life. Letting it, like, in real time. Life in real time. With no script, no censorship, no editing. I try to keep the maturity level, or, like, to a sensible level. Nothing too crazy. Although, I do admit sometimes I have gone off the handle on Facebook when I've gotten, like, really passionate about certain things, or I've, like, perceived certain things. And, like, just to make a point sometimes, or, like, sometimes it's not even to yell at anyone in particular. It's just for me to vent, like, just in general. Sometimes it's better to, like, just translate that, like, energy into, like, some type of writing or something. Like, even, like if it's bad, put it even public, so that way, like, you'll be able to be held accountable for it. Like, if it's really bad or something, that way you don't, like, like, keep it, like, bottled up and you hurt yourself or others or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's better to be honest than, like, wear a false smile sometimes. That's just my opinion. Why aren't you even in camera? Because my bed is covered with books. Look at all this. Like, you want to see it? Yeah. Like, he's like, whoa! Like, what? Where are you going to sleep tonight? Maybe on the floor. I used to do that before. I have, like, some blankets over here. I might do that. Like, it's comfortable on the floor sometimes. Sometimes I do that. If I really have to, I do that. I really do that. I've done it in the past. I can do it again. Like, oh, wow, you have all sorts of books. These are, like, my mom's books. Oh, that letter again. V. What does it mean? Like, what other books does your mom have? Mirror for Witches. What? Like, yeah, well, I'll show you more in part 9, perhaps, alright? This will be continued in part 9, which should resume in... Well, I'm not sure when that will be ready. You might have to wait like a day or two, because like I said, I gotta get this video up onto Facebook. Then, like, I gotta get part 8, which is in 3 separate parts. Each one is at least like 20 gigs. That means that each part might take up to potentially, like, I'll be honest here, like 20 gigs of video. That might take up to 6 hours to upload each one. So yeah, like, you know what I mean? It could be a while before even part 8, part 9. So today's Thursday. Like, part 9 might not be uploaded until, like, maybe Saturday, like, at the latest, maybe even Sunday, like, who knows? Like, like, this is a real full-on series, you know what I mean? Full feature length, and, if anything, like, at this point, I doubt people have been able to, like, watch everything, you know what I mean? Because, like, some of these are, like, 2 hours, in excess of 2 hours, and, like, it's easy to lose track of what I'm saying, and, like, pay attention to, like, some of the things that I show and demonstrate. Wow, over an hour and 40 minutes already, yeah. Let's wrap this up. Okay, yeah, like, you're just playing with my Zippo. Or something. But yeah, I showed you the Casino Royale stuff that I have. Just out of, because, like, yesterday was the theatrical anniversary of 10 years, a decade. And also, that's another thing, perspective on time. Doesn't time, like, as Craig said in Spectre, doesn't time fly? Tempus fugit or something? Yeah, in Latin. I think that's the Latin way of saying it. Tempus fugit. Yeah. Doesn't time fly? So you see, yeah, you know your stuff on certain things. Well, I don't know. I don't brag, or I try not to. Why did you show that freaking pin or something? Because they're just a collectible item. Is there anything wrong with showing collectible items? Because, like, I also show things like these. And, like, what else did I show? Oh, look, another one of my mom's book. Good Earth. Oh, that's about, like, Oh. What? Oh. What does it matter? Because I have books like this. And I also have Tales of the Dalai Lama. They don't like them in China. I know, but that's why I look at alternate viewpoints. But, like, regrettably, like I said, I cannot complain about the election. Because, I did not vote. I still have my ballots. So, yeah, let's just leave it at that. It's an hour and 42 minutes and 31, 32, 33, and then peace. And, like, yeah, it's V for victory, but it's not something sinister. Yeah, if they want to see it as a game, like, you either, like, game's a game. Like, you either win or you lose. Or, like, in this case, win, lose, or die. Or maybe win, lose, or live. How does this thing end? Like, good, let's go out to dinner. I enjoy it here. She squatted down beside him, looking up into his face, shadowed by the lights and the night. James, darling, some you win and some you lose. James Bond nodded. Yes, he said quietly. And some die. That's the very ending of this novel. Maybe I'll explain this one either in part 9 or another one, because this is one of the John Gardner continuation novels, not one of the original Flemings. If anything, I'll go through the Fleming ones, and then, like, I'm going to be bouncing all over the place. I might not even start with this one. I might start all the way over here as a starting point, and then go to Casino Royale, and then so on and so forth, or, like, some other things. Who knows? I'm going to let the spirit naturally flow and decide on that one. And look, there's my dream catcher over there, and I have another one somewhere over here and everything. And, like, oh yeah, look at this. I was eating this. Twin snakes from Haribo. You see, where is it made in? Made in Germany. Like, oh, sour orange, lemon, blackcurrant. Yeah, that one. That was pretty good. But, like, twin snakes, and then I had the video game, the GameCube thing, and I put it somewhere. But yeah, but here's the strategy guide I was able to find, and this one, like, it was actually like that when I bought it, so I got it at a discount. Like, what? Yeah, interesting. Like, so I have. This is the only one I have. Well, not the only one I have. I have access to another strategy guide. Like, what? You're talking for 44. Let's make it 45 minutes then, all right? I have the official authorized strategy guide for the first Metal Gear also for PlayStation. Yeah. So I'll show that one in part 9. So, like, we'll talk about Bond, like, maybe even Austin Powers. We'll talk about that secret agent. We'll talk about all sorts of, like, espionage related. Because one of the topics, espionage, religion, and history. Yeah, because, like, the Snake was supposedly the first spy in history. Supposedly the two oldest occupations, ironically, two occupations that are, frowned upon for the most part. Espionage and prostitution of all things. And when, Bonnie loves his ladies and everything, oh my god, it all connects. No, but he doesn't really, you know what I mean? He gets his, because they want him. Like, what does it say? Like, what? Where is the novel? It has it on the back. It says it on almost every back of the novel. Like, this one probably says it. No. It was probably a Casino Royale. Where do you put Casino Royale now? Like, oh my god, man. You're going bonkers. You're going to be here all night keeping us here. Like, what? No, you're probably going to watch this tomorrow. Yeah, Bond is what every man would like to be and what every woman would like to have between her sheets. Oh yeah, I would love to be with those women, but I don't know if I want to have my balls bashed like that. Well, maybe some other things I'm willing to. Or is it too much information, man? Well, you should read the novels and hear what Bond's been through. He's been through a doozy, if you ask me. But yeah, you'll have to find out in my series. I guess it's deeper than the evidence of prophecy. It's it sounds like it could be the title of a Bond movie or a short story or something. Or the evidence of prophecy. But yeah, I'm gonna divide this up and put it on Facebook. I'm not gonna put this directly onto YouTube, or if I do, I'm gonna have it unlisted or not listed for the public until a later point, or after it's been available on Facebook first, or after. At the very least, I want to try and get part 9 of my main series, The Evidence of Prophecy, uploaded. Alright? I'm going to try and get that done tonight. But for now, thank you for listening, and to all my Facebook friends. Let's see, it's already past midnight, 12:38 a.m., so 12:11, or 3, Friday. You see, I can do numerology like that. Like, what does it mean? You see, you gotta understand context and stuff like that. It's like, wow, your brain's working like a computer. Yeah. I made another video, like I said earlier today, but yeah, I'm talking too much already. Save it as a surprise, and there's even I already mentioned in the post. It's all good. All right, take care, everybody. For those who are going to bed, good night and pleasant dreams. I truly wish you pleasant dreams. I wish you pleasant dreams. Bless you. God bless you. Whatever you may believe in or not believe in. You know what I mean? We need to be intentional these days about what we do, how we think, the choices we make. I'm serious about that because this world is changing in ways that we could never have realized, and faster than we ever could have believed. But yeah, that's all for now. So good night and aloha and good night and sweet dreams and much love to you all, my friends. Peace. And remember, peace. Victory ensures peace. And it's not always what everyone thinks. There's multiple ways. Like I said, there's certain things I perceived and I have, information, but this stuff is secret. I'm putting it somewhere safe that no one can touch. Did you write down? What were you perceiving? Like I said, I cannot disclose it because some things you don't want to know. What do you mean? What have you perceived, in life? Is this really something you want to end this video on, a shocking note? Like a shocker, it's one of those horror videos, all of a sudden you were talking about all these sort of interesting things, celebrating Casino Royale, and then shock them a little bit with something totally shocking and brutal, that time when you posted that one video that Fox News had posted, and where are these books? Oh, this is not really shocking. This is just some of my mother's books, her collection, and she had very varied tastes. And like I said, like, you know, I used to be in Sherlock Holmes, like, or in Sherlock Holmes. What, you're in that story? Or like, oh, maybe, who knows? Maybe back then, maybe that's why I talk like Britishman. Like, oh my God, it's almost an hour and 50 minutes. You've been talking for almost 2 hours, mate. Like, yeah, I know it's crazy now, but look, I have two different copies of The Hound of the Baskervilles, and the interesting thing, various copies are different. Like, they have different abridged versions of it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I realized. Like, wow. Yeah, you're like, you know, an avid collector. And these aren't the only ones I have. Like, I also, there's a variation of it in this one, the complete illustrated classic Sherlock Holmes. Like, so, wow, you have Sherlock Holmes. And, like, you know, I had some other versions of that. So, like, yeah, Sherlock Holmes was like a precursor to, like, you know, the James Bond. And then, like, Indiana Jones, like, he's like an offshoot of James Bond himself. Because Spielberg wanted to do. You see, I should talk about this in part 9. You see, you're going on and on. It's an hour and 50 minutes. And I already said good night. You see, wow, you can't stop talking. You have a problem, mate. Exactly. So that's why I'm going to stop right now. All right. Good night on this video, and then I'll be off working on part 9 and get part 6 and 7 up, posted on Facebook as soon as I can. With that, peace. Good night. Sweet dreams. Much love to all. God bless. Or, you know, good intentions and peace and blessings and harmony to all. Yeah, whatever you believe in. You know my intentions are good and noble. Good night. Sweet dreams. Peace. Much love to all.